Well, on the 4th of July, President Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill, a landmark victory delivering sweeping tax cuts, entitlement reforms, a partial repeal of the Green New Deal. It needs to go farther. Despite fears GOP moderates in the House Freedom Caucus would derail the legislation, the collaboration secured over $4 trillion in tax relief for Americans so far. The caucus's pro-taxpayer push sharpened the bill's edge, achieving $1.5 trillion in spending cuts while scaling back hundreds of billions in clean energy subsidies. President Trump is doing all he can for the economy, but Jerome Powell has ignored the president's call to cut interest rates, which has seemingly led to inflation increasing just a bit, moving further away from the Federal Reserve's target rate of 2%. Here to discuss all of this, Senior Director of Government Affairs at the National Taxpayers Union, Tommy Aiello. Tommy, look, we need to get some tax relief around here, which more of it. We got some there. We need more. We also need relief from these interest rates. And I honestly don't understand why Jerome Powell would wait. It's pretty clear we could use some help here. And when I say we, I mean the average person paying a mortgage or trying to get a used car or just trying to pay their credit card bills. It would help all of these folks, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it sure would. So, yeah, let's take a step back. What President Trump did was historic. The passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill, $5 trillion in tax cuts. We think that's a really good idea. Plus, we received about $1.5 trillion worth of spending reductions. And almost all of that could be attributed to the House Freedom Caucus, which is no doubt the most pro-taxpayer, pro-conservative caucus in the entire Congress. Because of them, we had a much more fiscally responsible deal, and we were able to make sure it got to the president's desk on the president's deadline.
Yeah. All right. So what do we need to do from here? There's talk now that the second big, beautiful bill is under construction. What would you like to see in that new legislation that's likely to come maybe at the end of the year or early next year, probably somewhere in that time frame? What would you want in the construction of that bill?
Yeah, so we are going all in this year to see if we can get another reconciliation bill. We need to take advantage while Republicans have both houses of Congress and the White House. We need to maximize this moment. So what we're saying is we need to look at additional pro-growth tax provisions, maybe even more tax cuts for working families. But at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we're getting our debt and our deficits under control. We're spending about $2 trillion more than we take in every single year. That's how we got stuck with a $37 trillion debt. It's unsustainable. So what we'd like to see is, one, more changes to entitlement programs, specifically Medicaid. We shouldn't have people that are working age adults continue to sit on the couch. It's time for them to enter the workforce. And with the strong economy that President Trump has put forward, there are plenty of jobs available for every working person. Second, we need to make sure that we completely eliminate the Green New Deal. This is a massive $1 trillion subsidies for the green energy industry. We started to pare it back. It can go further. And we obviously need to do more to make sure we tame inflation.
You know, it's interesting because I've seen these videos on social media. You might have seen them too. And I want you to weigh in on this. A variety of them I've seen of people complaining because their food stamp allowance is being cut unless they put in 15 hours a week volunteering somewhere. So here's what could happen. You could go 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day to the food bank and volunteer. And because you did that, helped out some other folks. This one lady I just listened to recently, $2,000 a month in SNAP benefits she would get for volunteering at the food court. But she refuses to do it and complains that we should give her more free stuff. And she won't even volunteer. And in fact, he made it so you can get online and do stuff. You just got to do something. I'll give you the last word.
No, it's ridiculous. And this is exactly what the Freedom Caucus and Republicans generally wanted to cut back on, is this waste, fraud, and abuse. It is ridiculous that we're giving all this money to people that choose not to work. And what that budget bill, the tax and spend bill, did is it said, hey, you just need to work 20 hours a week and there'll be no change to your benefits. We also exempted a number of categories of people with disabilities, people with children, people that are over the age of 63 that are on Social Security. They're exempt. The only way that you're going to get change in your benefits is if you just choose not to work and you're not part of those eligible categories. We think it's a really fair way to get people off the couch, back to work, and contribute to our society.
Amen. Yeah, absolutely. Tommy, thank you for being here. Greatly appreciate your insights. We'll talk again soon.